Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Life. I'm your host, London Kasmir, and today we're going to talk all things social media with my girl, Laurice. Laurice is most known for her work as the former head of social media and founding member of R29 Unbothered, the Refinery 29's Instagram for Black female empowerment. She is an industry leader in all things audience development and digital growth, and she's always found herself at the intersection of culture and style. In addition to her work at Refinery 29, Laurice has also created social media content and strategy for brands like MTV, Elle Magazine, Bustle, 17 Magazine, Harper's Bazaar, Victor Glamon, and so many more. And as a style influencer, she's worked with brands like Macy's, Olive and June, the Folklore, Pantene, Emerge Haircare, ASOS, ULTA, and so many more. I want to welcome the queen of social herself, Laurice, to the show.
Hey girl, oh my
Hi,
God,
Laurice.
you.
We're doing the hat thing today.
We are. The vibe.
I love it. So I don't have flowers today, but if I had them, you would have them all.
Oh, you're so sweet, girl.
I am like seriously so inspired. I'm jumping up and down on the inside. I wish I could do cartwheels, but I'm really, really so excited to have you, and I'm really glad that you're able to be on the show and just kind of share with us like what you have going on and what's going on with your journey and the projects that you're working on. So I like to call you the queen of social, but you're the queen of social strategy to me. And I love how you use your platforms to educate your followers on like social best practices, posting tips and tricks. If someone were to ask you, like, how do I grow my account? Or what's the best way to grow my social media? What would you say to them?
My best tip for growing your social media is honestly add value. It sounds so corny. I feel like that's what people are like, okay, you keep saying that, but what does that actually mean? Okay. For example, if you follow me, you know that I post a lot of tips about how to communicate in the workplace. So that's literally why people follow me. It's not because they like my earrings or because they like my clothes. Some of them might, if you
They
do,
might.
thank you. But in reality, well, and I say that jokingly because when I look at my metrics, my outfit posts, though they may be cute, the girls did not come here for that. They came here
Mhm,
for
mhm.
themselves, which is amazing and fine, and the way I enjoy it. And so give people a reason to show
Mhm.
up. And if you're not an expert in social media, think about the things that you are really good at. What about your life is something that people don't have access to in a general state? And I know that a lot of people are like, well, I'm not like an influencer or I'm not like some famous celebrity, like I don't have access to stuff. Yes, you do. Like
Yes, you
think
do.
about think about I forget what his name is, but there is this famous dentist on Instagram and he is like always in the back room showing some crazy stuff or like look at these like freaking like fake teeth and just like stuff that like you would. I'm not a dentist. I don't come across that stuff ever. And
Mhm,
so
mhm.
even if it seems mundane and everyday to you, like something about your job, your home, or your life is super unique and out there for somebody else. So that that value can take place in tips. It can take place in voyeurism, like that, like we just said, that act of being able to see through somebody else's eyes, some stuff you wouldn't
Mhm.
normally be able to see. And I also think value really shows up these days in comedy as well. If you are having a bad day, is valuable to follow somebody like Young BBQ to get those laughs in.
Yeah.
Um, Again, sometimes value can be as literal as like, "Hey, you were a dancer? I'm gonna teach you how to do this dance step by step. Hey, you cook, I'm gonna teach you how to do this recipe step by step or something. But sometimes you have to think out of the box. There's always a way to add that value, and people are going to follow you for it.
Absolutely. And I like that you said adding that value, because a lot of people are so head down in what they're doing that they don't even think that people are interested, or they don't even think that people want to hear from them or want to see them. And it's like, once you get out your own way and just do it, and don't think about, is it, what the
Yeah.
numbers are gonna be, just do it, like, I love that. There was a post that I really loved from you that actually helped me. And it was, you were sharing how you can kind of maximize your content. So if you're shooting a IGTV, you can chop it up and make it a reel or make it a TikTok. Can you talk more about like creative ways to think of that and to maximize content?
Yes. So I always use this word scrappy. I think
Hmm.
that in media and in production, it's like a bad word, It's like, oh no, like that's synonymous with ghetto, or like not really put together, or like um but I think as a strategist, as a creative strategist, so much of the fun is being like, okay, this is the puzzle. You got to
Hmm.
get this result, but you got to deal with X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third.
Hmm.
And so, first of all, my first tip would be to just open your mind. Open your mind to what the concept of content is. It might look like something beautiful shot on HBO. It might look like something your daughter took on the cell phone and you were like, "Oh, wow, that's actually kind of funny looking." Like,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so think of it that way. I also would say that I think that we do a lot of just like pushing to be perfect.
Yes.
Uh, and I think that stories, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or
Hmm.
YouTube, there's all the stories now. Um,
Hmm.
that's just like the area where I feel like people naturally just let their guard down. They're like, "Oh, it's
Hmm.
temporary."
Right.
Like felt cute, might delete later type of thing. But
Hmm.
that content also a lot of the times is you being your most authentic self. It's relatable. Sometimes it's funny.
I agree.
Really, I encourage Flash people to look back in those archives and see like, hey, maybe this 7-second stories clip that was so funny deserves a
Hmm.
reel or deserves a
Hmm.
TikTok. Like maybe it deserves a second life. I believe in content second life. Who has
Yes.
the time to be making new things all the time? I also, we do like a lot of talking about like the concept of recycling, and
Hmm.
um it's such an art form in and of itself, is to just like find a new use for these things. I
Hmm.
often tell people like go back through your page and look for captions that you really love, that you were like really proud of, and make that a whole post.
Hmm. Hmm. One thing I did that actually I was like, that's kind of genius of me. I don't know how and why I didn't think of that earlier. I did a voiceover, for some video content, and it was like a good 3 to 5 minutes. I used bits and pieces of that sound bite and made
Mhm.
it a caption. I was like, what? Like, mind blown. Why didn't I think of
Yeah,
that sooner? But it's like, it's so authentic to me because I said it, right? And then you're reading it and you're like, wow, that's so deep. But it's really like, I just
you
said
came
that.
off the dome with that, yeah.
Oh, so I think that's another thing. It's like, in your captions, it can be things you actually think and you actually say. It doesn't have to be always, some deep
A
lyric.
lyric
Yeah.
as opposed to like
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned that you always found yourself at the crossroad of culture and style. How have you positioned yourself in life and on social media to actually represent that?
honestly, I would say that I show myself on social media to represent that by showing up authentically. Um, and for me, you know, I don't think it's because I'm a Black woman, but it definitely doesn't hurt. But
Wow.
I am, I think I show up very loud in some spaces and sometimes not even like verbally like loud. Like I am somewhat of a maximalist dresser. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of that comes with my long time obsession with just like magazines and editorials and just like glam looks and seeing so many people in those worlds who did not look like me or people I actually knew in real life. And
Mm-hmm.
so now, as I'm an adult with some influence and like not uh shitty teenager's paycheck, I'm like, I'm investing in luxury. I'm doing all the things. I'm showing up looking like I have walked out of a page of Vogue as a Black woman,
Yes.
and I think that for me, seeing Black women show up uh, unapologetically loud in the form of style and clothing. I think one of my style icons, I always call her auntie, is Crystal Anderson at Beer Bottles and Chainsaws. Like she is like my style icon because she shows us that like no like we does this too. In fact, we started this. So
We started this. Just
um
yeah, I love that.
sometimes I think they say like dress for the job you want or dress
Yeah.
for the who you want to be in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it helps. I think that when I show up, I mean, I feel like today I kind of look like a bum, but it's raining. My man Marshall done ruptured his Achilles. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that's like the worst
we
injury.
are going through it in this house.
Oh, no,
But
you
I
look
think when
amazing.
you show up, I try to show up with like what I like to call editor in chief energy. I'm
Mhm.
27. I'm not an editor in chief. I never have been, except for like maybe in college. And like
I
I
love that.
think that for me, when I embody that mindset, it shows from the outside and people believe it.
Yes, yes. It's almost like like fake it till you make it really like it didn't sit right with me for years, but when you think about it in terms of I am going to own this mindset until I
Step
believe
into
it.
it.
And it's not necessarily I'm faking it like I'm like disingenuine. It's like I have to believe it for myself and I have to like keep playing it in my mind until I
Yeah.
believe it for myself because if I don't believe it for myself, y'all aren't going to believe it. And
Mhm.
y'all need to believe it for it to stick.
For it to
So
work.
I think that's what's really important too when it comes to like owning the room and owning like that editor in chief. I love that editor in chief mindset because it's important. Especially when you're going into rooms and walking through doors that you don't see faces like you don't hear
Yeah. It's
opinions like you.
protection.
It's
It's
protection.
protection. It's like people are always like, parents, all of it are like, you got to be twice as good.
Hmm.
And for
Hmm.
Black women for ages, fashion and style has been uh, our way of stepping into luxury in a lot of spaces. So, yeah, I even think about Cardi B and the bag situation. Like,
Hmm.
granted, she's a celebrity now, but there are lots of places somebody like her was not allowed into, and uh, you go buy the bag. You might not be in the parties that the such and such are inviting, but you can buy the bag. And
Yeah.
while it's a whole other conversation of whether we should even give a crap about if we are accepted into these exclusive white spaces.
Hmm.
Uh, like I said, that's a whole nother thing, but it is it's it's one of our accessible ways of um of just showing prowess straight up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's something that because other people before us have been unapologetic with it, it gives us the space to have that same mindset,
Mhm.
if not more, you know? It gives us that confidence. Speaking on that, I'm really inspired by the platform that you helped pioneer, which is the R29 Unbothered account. Can you tell me how that started and why, honestly?
Yeah, so refinery was my first job out of college.
Okay.
I was really lucky at the time. I'd come onto a team that was largely diverse. I think it was like 3 Black ladies, myself included,
Cool.
like 3 Asian women and 3 white women. Latina and Indian representation was not there, but,
Mhm.
this is corporate America.
Right.
Um, um, but the most senior Black girl on that team that I had walked onto was, like, in the research phases of seeing what a Black women's, sub-brand within the refinery umbrella looks like.
Mhm.
And, I'm fresh out of college, I'm like, "Oh, I wanna be a part of this." And,
Right,
when you're trying to have something start up, you want all the help you can get.
right.
And so, um, I was able to really learn from her and see kind of, like, what went into creating this brand. Like, we would have to call, uh I guess, town hall meetings where all of the Black women in the company who wanted to be involved in this, like, new brainchild would come and meet up. We would take down ideas. We would talk about people we wanna work with, people we feel like aren't genuine enough for us, people who brands who we were like, "Never, they will never touch us." Brands we were like, "Oh my god, we would love to do something with them." Just like what we
Uh-huh.
would say to, like, PR and comms people, like, we just hammer all of it out really well. An area that I got to be very involved in the beginning stages was art direction and design and things of that nature. So we went through mood boards, we went through all kinds of like patterns and color variations and type treatments, and it was really, um, we were blessed to have a little bit of a corporate infrastructure backing us, but it very much felt like a whole startup situation. Like we were really like,
Mhm.
what does this thing that does not exist look like? Uh,
Mhm.
And so it's just I mean, I'm not even there anymore, but
Mhm.
it's really special to even now not be there and look at that brand and be like, "Wow, like, look at
Mhm.
it freaking go." It is such a force. I still, to this day, utilize the Facebook group as a member. I'm not an admin anymore, but I'm a
Absolutely.
member. I was just in there the other day asking if somebody could do my hair.
I love it.
Looking for a loctician in there. But yeah, it's just a very special community, and to see its journey has been one of my greatest rewards in my short little 20-something-year-old life.
Mhm. It has actually made such a big difference in my life too, and any woman, any entrepreneur, any creative, honestly, that comes into my life, I tell them immediately about the group. I'm like, "You have to join. There's so much support in there." I mean, it really because there's nothing like it. I have not been able to find anything like it. I actually am not looking for anything like because it's every I'm like, I'm not looking for anything else because it's exactly, what so many people need. And I think it's like kudos to you and the team that helped pioneer that because that is such a needed space. And I'm really excited to continue to watch like what flourishes out of it. I just love, I'm not in there every day, but when I do just see like
It's
fresh,
so warm.
it's so warm. It's
It
just
is.
so nice to see like people helping other people, people recommending people for jobs,
Yeah.
resumes, it's something really special. So I'm so happy to be a part of it, but also just watch it blossom. And I want to ask you like what impact do you feel like it's had on the group members and even, the admins?
I mean, as a former admin, I would definitely say that its impact has been incredibly empowering. I sound like such a nerd, but um, I met my current best friend of like 9 years in a similar Facebook group. In fact, it was like the one that inspired this one that I made. Um, and so I've had people message me and say like, I met this girl in real life because of the Facebook group you made. And so even just to see like the experience that I had so long ago kind of mirrored and facilitated by me is just very full circle. Um, some of these women are small business owners in that
Mhm.
group, and they go in looking for web designers, social media editors, and come out with a full team. It's just
Yeah.
a very special place. But if nothing else, I hope the impact is just so that other Black women creatives just know like you might be a only in your office, or like you might be a only in your like Slack group or whatever, but you can be just one of us here.
Yes, yes. It's so, I liked how you use the word warm. It is so warm, but it's also just such a safe place
Yeah.
that I think it feels so professional, but still like let's just sit down and like chill at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a little
I
kickback
love
in there.
Yeah. I love that. So, what resources do you feel like are specifically made for elevating Black creatives?
I would say so that's one that I'm proud to have
Mhm,
created. I think that the CCNYC is amazing.
mhm, mhm.
Um, at empowering Black creatives it's I believe that they are technically like POC, uh,
Okay.
but they just have a very strong emphasis on the Black part.
The
Which
create, cultivate account you're
Mhm.
talking about. Mhm, mhm.
Oh, no, not create and cultivate. It is the CCNYC. They put on CultureCon.
CultureCon, yes, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah,
I
they
know
put
what
on
you're talking about.
CultureCon.
Yep. Mhm.
Um, and they offer like some workshops and just little. I went to a networking event they had last month. That was just nice to meet other people in my space. Um, I would also say that I really, really love the Gumbo. It's a indie media site
Okay.
or Instagram account that's like dedicated to like Black music.
Oh,
Um, and I
nice.
think that it's really empowering for Black creatives. They do like a lot of like education and featuring and things like that. And then lastly, there's this Instagram account called All Black Creatives, which is
Okay.
amazing. And they do a lot of just featuring different creatives. And like, I literally will go on there and be like, hmm, I'm looking to hire a Black person who could do X, Y, and Z. And I'll just scroll down and just see who they've been featuring. So,
I love that. And we need so much more of that. So I'm sure just you sharing that is going to help so many people because a
I
lot of
hope
people
so.
probably don't know about those accounts. So I know you've done so much, right? And this might be a hard question. Well, can you name the most exciting project or collaboration you've been a part of, or even maybe that you're working on for the future?
Um, most amazing. Uh, that is very hard.
I
I've been really
know.
trying so hard. Um, mm, One of the coolest things I ever got to do was when I was at Refinery. I got to be a part of the creative uh, process for the Unbothered Room at 29 Rooms. And so
Okay.
just as a social media editor to create a physical space that was completely inspired by an Instagram account that
Mhm.
I spearhead was very surreal and very special and very moving and very just uh you just don't think that you'll see something on your phone blown up so big, and it was just very moving.
I love that. It's kind of like an out of body experience when you see
I
your
was
ideas
like,
come to life. Like, wait, what? I
yeah,
did that? Like what? And it's so nice to get that support too from other people that didn't see, the
yeah,
grind behind the scenes and think this just kind of just happened. And it's like, no, this didn't just happen. Like
yeah,
you didn't just show up. Well, they just showed up, but you
yeah,
know, it's hard work behind the scenes. Speaking of hard
definitely.
work, the Victor Glamade collection is now available at Target.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I want to hear all about how you activated that brand social.
So, I was introduced to Victor by my friend, our mutual friend, Christy Rutherford, who is most known for her work with Harper's Bazaar in the past. She used to run their social. But yeah, he just hit up a girl and was like, "Hey, homegirl, who do you know who's like taking clients in social?" And she was like, "Her," and that was me. And so, I really have been working with him to integrate both his personality as an individual and his designs as a businessman onto that page. He is such a joy to work with and to know. He's so I feel like wise just sounds lame, but like he's so knowledgeable and patient and a lot of people don't know, but he came from the PR world of fashion. So he really knows this industry inside and out. And while he will be like, I know nothing about social, like, sure, I've been teaching him about social, but he's just taught me so much about the industry at large. So I can't say enough great things about him.
So thanks to you, I was able to meet him and help you out. Like, I was so grateful for that experience, helping you out, like capture some behind the scenes content at his fitting before it even launched. So that was really fun and exciting. Thank you again for that opportunity. But he was just so sweet, so humble, and just so ready to work. Like, what's up? Like, where
Yeah.
where are these models? Like, so
Yeah,
laid back.
he's always just like, "I'm ready."
Yeah, I'm ready. And the people around him were the same way.
Mhm.
And that's really special when you can find that in the
Yeah,
fashion community, because a lot of times it's very like chaotic energy, and it's like we don't have to be like this.
exactly.
We do not have to be like this. So I'm
Yes.
sure it's an exciting time for you to watch, his brand evolve and his accounts grow too.
Oh, yeah, we he had his show, at New York Fashion Week in September, and I was plotted right at the end of the runway with my phone doing the IG live, and, as you know, like, when the show's over, the designer comes out and does his lap with
Mhm.
I was a mess. I was like, "Why am I crying?" Like,
Oh.
you're working. But it was what wildly emotional.
Mhm.
I at the time, I think I had been working with him for maybe 10 months, and, that was my first fashion show that I worked as I guess, social media director for a brand. I'm normally like, "Hey, I'm in the audience taking social for the magazine I'm with or whoever," but,
Mhm.
um, it was just really special to see his, to be honest, big black ass walk down the end of the thing
I
and
love
be like,
it.
"Wow, like, this is fashion." You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, this is
Yes.
fucking I'm sorry. This is powerful, like,
Yeah,
to
very
see a
powerful.
queer black man, own that space like that was just so moving, and,
Absolutely.
um, so yes, I bawled. I cried.
Oh, I love that. He was
Mm.
probably looking at you like,
He was all up in his mom's arms and stuff, like, it was a whole
"Girl."
emotional, like, just, like, love fest. It was so great, especially, like, after having, like, the pandemic and stuff, it was just,
Yeah.
like, a reminder, like, "Yes, this is New York, and we're still here."
We're still here, and it's just the beginning.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of just the beginning, do you have any upcoming projects or initiatives that you're really pumped about?
I do. So this is like an accidental plug. This
Okay.
necklace and these earrings are actually by this amazing Black-owned brand called Serendipitous Project.
Love it.
Um, and I buy so much of this girl's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We just started DMing, and she was like, "Hey, like I'm hosting this BIPOC market at Essex Market, um,
Mm-hmm.
December like 4th and 5th. And I would love for you to be one of the like vendors. And instead of like selling things, you can like do social advice and stuff." So I am going to be speaking at her event on December 4th or 5th. I don't remember which day, to be honest. But I think that that experience is going to be a ton of fun. Marshall and I, my partner and I, just did a talk in Baltimore, like maybe a month ago, where we just, literally talk to local businesses about how they can up their social game and
Mm-hmm.
make some real changes. Because at the end of the day, we just trying to make some money. And
Okay.
I'm excited to do a version of that here in New York
Yeah.
alongside this like amazing Black-owned brand who I love, and there'll be other BIPOC vendors, marketplace owners, and things like that there. So yeah, a little holiday bazaar situation. I'm very
Yes.
excited about that.
Incredible. That's exciting. So that's the next thing coming up. I'll make sure to put all those details in the description box too, so people know, how to find out about that project. But if you can share how people can find you and how people can contact you if they have any more questions or anything they want to share with you.
Yeah. So I am an Instagram person, clearly. So DM me. My Instagram handle is Laurice, my first name, LauriseiRL. So Laurice IRL.
Perfect. Well, Louise, thank you seriously so much for taking the time out your day to join me. I'm so
Yeah,
excited that you came. I am seriously, seriously rooting for you and really so excited to watch how you continue to blossom everything that you're working on and everything that you're doing. And please keep me like in the loop with what you're doing so I can so I could cheer you on and if I can help you or support you in any way,
yes,
please let me
girl.
know.
This was so
Amazing.
fun.
I'm glad. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Let's Talk Life with London. I'm going to make sure to put all Laurice's information in the description box so you can find her and DM her and support her however you can on whatever platforms you can. Bye.
Hey, it's your girl Laurice, and I just had the best conversation with London. If you want to hear about it, head on over to her page right now.